These next few questions comes from someone that has a very difficult name to pronounce, so I'm not gonna try and pronounce it. Um, their first question is, what changes would you like to see in 2K15? Like I said with the last question, sounds pretty similar to this one. The changes I'd want to see is in CAW mode, where they have way more material to choose from, like different hair, clothes, shoes, etc. And also, maybe with like the actual superstars and divas, if they, looked more realistic. Because I've seen, like, on 2K14, Caitlyn, and once again on WWE 13, Ryback, like, they made them look way skinnier than they really are, and it kind of looked a bit weird, and it was off, and it was obviously it was rushed. So maybe they needed to learn to take their time on that still. But yeah, realism and a lot more material in call mode is my answer to that one. And number two, which features would you want to see back in 2K15? Um, See, I haven't played the older games. Like, honestly, I forget what is even on the older games. Um, the only thing I can really remember is career mode and GM mode. But then again, I never really played those either. I don't even play universe mode on 2K, so yeah. Number three is Somari returning. I don't know. I've been thinking about, recreating her, but then again, she was just a random diva that I made completely out of boredom. But, if I do make her, I may make a video on how I made her and then, give her to you guys so you guys can, have her. But, um, yeah, I mean, I may bring her back. It's a possibility. Number four, have you ever gotten 100% in a Saints Row game? No, I have never gotten 100% in a Saints Row game. I've never gotten 100% in any game, come to think of it. 'Cause who really has time for that? Really, really. Number five, have you ever been in a fist fight? Nope. I'm not a fighter. Really, I'm not. Um, I actually tweeted something about punching someone in the face, but then thinking about how that would sound makes me cringe. So I don't think I would ever want to get into a fist fight ever. Like, the closest I've ever gotten into a fight was with my cousin when I was 10 years old. He was like 2 years older than me, but I remember I scratched and slapped the shit out of his face. So I obviously won that. And number six, what was your first WWE game? My first WWE game was the first ever SVR game that came out, which I guess would be SVR 2005, which is actually when I started getting into wrestling. So, yeah, SVR, like the first game of the SVR series, was my very first game. These next batch of questions come from Hades0013. Their first question is, what former WWE diva do you miss the most? I miss a couple. I miss Trish, obviously, Lita, duh, and I also miss Melina as well. Number two, what former WWE wrestler do you miss the most? Um, Let me think. There's so many. I'll get back to you on that one. Who do you find to be the most boring person in WWE right now? Alberto Del Rio. Hate him. What's the oldest WrestleMania you've ever watched? Um, Somewhere in the 20s. I think it was like 28 or something. Cause I've never watched any of the older WrestleManias. Cause like, I did start watching wrestling in 2005, and I didn't even know of WrestleMania then, cause I was only like 12 at the time. So yeah, yeah, that's probably it actually. Um, who is your favorite wrestler from the Attitude Era? Mm-hmm. From the Attitude Era. Randy Orton. He was in the Attitude Era, right? I'm gonna just go with that. um, who's your favorite wrestler from the 80s or early 90s? Ooh, I can't answer that because, like I said, I haven't started watching it until 2005, and um, back in like, I'm pretty sure when I was born in '95, so honestly, by the time I could even talk, I hated wrestling. I couldn't even watch it, but for some reason, I started watching it, and now I love it. What call features are you hoping are in 2K15? Um, New material for sure. Um, are all your call slots filled now? No, they are not. I actually have like 3 or 4 pages left because I haven't really been making calls that much because I haven't really had time to because I've been kind of busy with a lot of other things. Um, Question 9. Have you ever been to Canada? No, I have not. Well, actually, let me tell you a short little story. So, me and my mom were traveling down to South Carolina, and, um, we were just visiting our cousins or whatever. And on our way back, we were like, okay, this trip is taking us forever to get home because South Carolina wasn't far from where we lived at the time. And so we were like, okay, this is weird. It took us to a border. We didn't know what border it was. Like, we had a GPS and everything, and it took us to this border. And come to find out, it was the Canadian border, and we were like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, why did our GPS take us here? And these people, I shouldn't say these people. That sounds racist. Even though, wait, yeah, that does sound racist. Oops, sorry. um, they were like the officers that were at the border. They were asking us how come we had Washington license plates on our car, and it was because the car that we were driving in, we had no, not purchased, but we had bought in Washington at the time that we lived there, and we just haven't changed the plates. And they asked this question like 10 times at least, and my mom got so irritated with it. It was just the most annoying shit ever. They finally let us go after like keeping us up there for an hour. It was ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. And their last question is, do you love your mom as much as Mr. T? Of course I do. She birthed me. Duh. This next batch of questions comes from Lil Tinker Love. And our first question is, what made you want to start Deadly Devotions? Um, it was actually my friend's idea, the one that I was working with on the storyline. And like we were just pretty much, it started out with like a conversation of just talking about our characters' personalities, and then it just turned into like scenarios and shit. And then that's when they were like, oh my god, we should do storyline. And I was like, holy shit, yeah, we should. And that's how it pretty much, I guess, formed Deadly Devotions. Yeah, and I really want to continue it, but like I said in the first video, there's some things going on, so I don't know when it will continue, but hopefully soon. Number 2, do you consider yourself an inspiration of other call creators, new or experienced? Maybe. Probably. I mean, like, I get told that I'm an inspiration for a lot of people, and there's people who are more experienced than I am that are, inspirations to me, like Brown Sugar Candy, um, Jay Sean. and Nick Virtue, definitely. Like, they make the best logos I've ever seen. Shit. And, um, yeah, I guess that's my answer for that one. Number 3, who's your favorite cartoon character as a kid or now? My favorite cartoon character as a kid, well, there's a show that I used to watch all the time on Disney Channel. It's called Brandy and Mr. Whiskers. And Brandy was most definitely my favorite cartoon character as a kid because she was she is just like me. She's a complete brat and I love it. But now I don't really watch cartoons as much. I mean, if I do watch a cartoon, it's most likely SpongeBob and that's it. Um, Question 4. Who's the funniest YouTuber you've come across on the interwebs? Um, Bugatti Bees. This is a commentary. Who else? Those are the ones that come to mind right now. Question 5. What would you do if you met a magical talking kitten that could grant you 1,000,000 wishes? I would keep that motherfucker all to myself. Let no one have him. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. All mine.